Hello, I'm Esther Gidu Yuwat. Welcome to Africa 54. Here's what's coming up.
A U.S.-built pier in Gaza prepares for the first shipment of desperately needed humanitarian aid from Cyprus. It is Teacher Appreciation Week in the United States to honor educators for their work in schools and universities. We'll have the story of a teacher who has designed a curricula to inspire teachers across Africa. And in our entertainment report, the Madaraka Festival is set to tour 13 cities across the United States to celebrate East African music, culture, and community. An award-winning singer joins Heather Maxwell for a live a cappella performance. All this and much more coming up on today's Africa 54.
We'll have those stories in a moment, but first, this developing story out of Mozambique. President Filipe Nyusi says the army is fighting Islamist insurgents who launched a major attack on the northern town of Macomia Friday morning. President Nyusi spoke about the fighting in a televised speech a short time ago. The town is in Cabo Delgado, a gas-rich northern province. For continuing coverage of this story, visit voaafrica.com. The first shipment of humanitarian aid bound for a U.S.-built pier in Gaza is to arrive soon after leaving a port in Cyprus on Thursday. VOA Pentagon correspondent Carla Barb reports the aid is desperately needed as the Rafah border crossing remains closed by Israeli forces.
Crate after crate of food and water bound for Gaza are loaded Thursday on the Sagamore container ship to be transferred to another U.S. ship, the MV Roy Benavidez. The U.S. military now pre-positioning aid at sea while waiting to move a newly completed U.S.-made floating pier into position off the Gaza coast.
Since the Benavidez will be on the scene, so to speak, the day we pull the trigger and start operations, that then frees up the Sagamore to go back to Cyprus to load up with additional aid. But because we're again waiting for the appropriate security and weather conditions to kick this off, we're going to use that time to our advantage.
The situation in Gaza grows more urgent by the day, with life-sustaining aid running low.
The 2 million Palestinians who live in Gaza are collectively near famine. This is, as I understand the numbers, one of the most dire food situations really in recent history.
Officials say the U.S.-built pier will bring in dozens of truckloads of aid per day, at a time when defense analyst Michael O'Hanlon says airdrops from the U.S. and others, along with truck traffic at border crossings, has been drastically inadequate.
This pier is desperately needed and actually overdue, and the numbers I've seen imply that it could actually help deliver a substantial fraction of what's needed.
Officials say security measures are in place to protect U.S. troops on the pier and civilians distributing aid on the beach.
We would certainly hope that if Hamas truly does care about the Palestinian people, that they would not threaten humanitarian assistance being delivered to people in dire need. And for our part, we'll continue to work with the international community to rush that aid in.
Officials say aid distribution via sea could begin as soon as next week. Carla Babb, VOA News, the Pentagon.
Election officials in Chad say interim President Mahamat Idris Deby is the winner of the May 6th presidential election with over 61% of the vote. But his main challenger, Sukseh Masra, declared himself the winner in a live broadcast on Facebook and called on security forces and his supporters to oppose what he is calling an attempt to steal the vote. Chad is the first of the coup-hit countries in West and Central Africa to stage a return to constitutional rule via the ballot box, but some opposition parties are crying foul over vote-rigging concerns. With tensions running high, large numbers of security forces are deployed at major intersections in the capital, N'Djamena. In Eswatini's textile industry, thousands of female workers are enduring deplorable conditions. They face unhygienic work environments, low pay, excessively long unpaid hours, harsh discrimination, and unjust dismissals. These workers assert that corruption and inadequate regulations enable companies to exploit them. Nokukanya Musi reports from Mustafa.
A group of female workers stands outside the New Life Garments textile factory in Matsapa, clutching their termination letters in frustration. They demand to speak with their employer.
We are fed up being treated like this. We are human beings, not machines. We deserve to be paid fairly and treated with respect. What kind of an employer has no respect for his employees? We work in the most horrendous health conditions for long hours and for peanuts. Can you believe that we have to fetch water in a bucket when we use the bathroom? Not only do we dispose of everything in the bathroom in one bucket, we work hard and we are rewarded nothing.
The annual export volume of textiles and apparel from Eswatini is estimated to be around $20 million, and the nation's key trading partners include South Africa, the United States, and the United Kingdom. But behind the glittering facade of the fashion industry, a darker truth is emerging. The workers who sew the clothes claim they work in unsafe and unsanitary conditions. They are paid less than the minimum wage, and many work more than 12 hours a day without receiving overtime pay.
We have raised concerns over the years on the issue of low pay. It has not helped us in any way. Instead, the problem persists. We have many personal challenges. We can't put our children through school. What we earn is not enough to put our children even through high school or even through college and university. We only work to be able to pay our landlords as tenants and for our own transport to go to work. That is the only thing we are able to do. Thereafter, there is nothing left for us to raise our families.
There have been a number of protests and strikes by textile workers over the past few years. In 2019, textile workers went on strike for nearly a month to demand higher wages and better working conditions. In 2021, there was another major strike by textile workers who demanded an end to discrimination and harassment in the workplace. These strikes have shown the determination of textile workers to fight for their rights despite facing alleged intimidation and violence from their employers. In Eswatini, thousands of workers toil in factories for long hours and low wages. They struggle to make ends meet, living in poverty despite their efforts. Their plight is a result of corruption and a lack of regulation, which allows companies to exploit them. But the workers are not alone in their fight. Unions are working tirelessly to advocate for their rights. Despite facing intimidation and violence, the workers and their allies are united in their determination to bring about change.
We need a fair ground to exist. That is all that we need. We need a creation of a platform where an individual right to freedom of association and collective bargaining shall be respected and actually ensured that it is respected. In that vein, we call for a tripartite inspectorate within the Ministry of Labour.
Despite numerous attempts to reach out to the Ministry of Labour for comments, they declined to provide a statement on the matter. In the meantime, the Conciliation, Mediation, Arbitration Commission, CMAC, a government entity under the Ministry of Labour tasked with improving workplace relations by facilitating communication and resolving disputes between employees and employers, plays a crucial role in maintaining workplace fairness by resolving disputes and ensuring compliance with labor laws. The Commission plans to be proactive in engaging stakeholders to mitigate these issues through training and seminars. Nokukhanya Musi, VOA News, Matapa, Eswatini.
Sunday is Mother's Day, recognizing mothers, motherhood, maternal bonds, as well as mothers' positive contributions to their families and society. Let's hear from mothers in Uganda, Nigeria, Kenya, and Botswana.
I am South Sudanese. I am living in Uganda, Kampala. I have 3 kids. One is 16, the other one is 14. And this one is 3 years old. And yeah, it's beautiful being a mother. It makes you want or live to dream, wake up every day to do something. Even in middle of stress, even in middle of every struggle, you always think that you want to wake up and try.
It's a blessing, but it's a lot of task. You can see. It's a lot of blessing. I wish we get prepared for what we're about to face, but when you look back, as in when you have a baby, as the baby is growing, with time, you appreciate those little things that you could have with your little baby that you can no longer have with this age. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing at the end of the day. So, but it can be tasking.
I'll tell my fellow mothers to embrace their children and to be a part of their life, because they actually impact their lives. So when a child misses that aspect of bonding with the mother, it has a negative impact on the growth of the child. So as mothers, we should work very hard to ensure that we actually bond with our children. We actually ensure that we are available for those children.
Mother's Day means celebrating and honoring the sacrifices that we mothers do in raising our children, more especially in this world that is mainly male-dominated.
In appreciation of Sunday's Mother's Day, mothers there speaking to us from Uganda, Nigeria, Kenya, and Botswana. Teacher Appreciation Week, celebrated annually across the United States, honors educators and their work in schools and universities. While not in the classroom anymore, one teacher is using her expertise to design curricula and inspire teachers across Africa to tackle one of the painful aspects of world history. VOA's Anthony Labruto reports.
In the United States, the first full week in May honors educators for their work. This year's teachers received special honors, a state dinner directly from the White House. Top teachers from around the country were invited by the President and First Lady Jill Biden to celebrate excellence in teaching and their commitment to students' learning. But one teacher is looking beyond the United States to educate students in a painful aspect of their country's history. As a new generation rises in Rwanda, one that never experienced the horrors of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, there is a critical importance that history never be forgotten. Kate Weckeser English is helping to make sure that history stays relevant to students.
The first time my colleagues, Mark Gudgel and Drew Bider, were invited by the Kigali Genocide Memorial to do a Holocaust education workshop with teachers in Rwanda. And once that happened, they were invited to keep coming back. The teachers wanted to continue that training.
A former teacher, English worked, taught, and developed curricula at Washington, D.C.'s Holocaust Memorial Museum for an exhibit showcasing comparisons between the Holocaust and other genocides.
We always have a partnership organization and teachers we are teacher to teacher. That's the whole point. 18 years in the classroom, everybody on our staff has had some classroom experience, many for many, many years. And so we always start from that grassroots level, and we want to engage a partner organization. So everywhere that we have a program, we also have a local partner that works in union with the teachers in that location.
English's aim is to address the genocide against the Tutsi by creating age-appropriate lessons in native languages and in simple vocabulary that students can understand. Lessons on the genocide aren't limited to the classroom. Drawing from real-world experiences, this year's cohort of Rwandan educators in partnership with English's team have brought older generations into their lessons.
Holocaust survivors will often historically did not speak to their children or wanted to protect them and didn't want to burden them, according to what their testimony would say. But a lot of them that I've heard speak about their grandchildren asking questions, and that's when they decided to speak. So what we talked to our colleagues at the Kigali Genocide Memorial and Aegis Trust about was maybe we look at something modeled on StoryCorps, for example, where you take a mobile unit into a location and create the opportunity for young people.
Alongside the school curricula, English encourages parents to be as involved as they can be with difficult topics like genocide, and for them to be aware of the disinformation that easily accessible online sources may present. Anthony Labruto, VOA News, Washington.
Still to come, the latest news and notes on the Madaraka Music Festival. Stay with us.
Actor Denzel Washington once said, "A mother is a son's first true love. A son is a mother's last true love." Most mothers and sons would agree. This week on Our Voices, we explore that unique bond, what it means to mother and son, and how a mother's love could help her son bring out the best of him. Join the conversation each week right here on Our Voices.
Season 4, rockin' with the best. Rockin' with the best. Season 4, rockin' with the best.
In other news, Zimbabwe says it will fine businesses using inflated exchange rates as the government battles to maintain the value of its newly introduced gold-backed currency, the Zimbabwe Gold ZiG. Anyone offering goods or services at an exchange rate above the prevailing interbank foreign currency selling rate will be guilty of a civil infringement, according to a government notice. Press freedom groups are calling for the release of jailed Nigerian journalist Daniel Ojukwu. Ojukwu has spent more than a week in police custody without being brought to court for allegedly violating the country's cybercrime laws, according to his employer, the Foundation for Investigative Journalism. Under Nigerian law, suspects must be brought to court within 48 hours of their arrest or be released. And Prince Harry and his wife Meghan are in Nigeria Friday to champion the Invictus Games, which Harry founded to aid the rehabilitation of wounded and sick service members and veterans. The couple visiting Nigeria for the first time are to meet with soldiers, some of whom have been fighting a 14-year war against Islamic extremists. Action continued in the Sahara Conference of Season 4 of the Basketball Africa League in Dakar Thursday. The first game pitted Tunisia, UN Monastir, and Rwanda's Armée Patriotique Rwandese, the two teams that opened the Sahara Conference last weekend with a win by Rwanda. This time, however, Tunisia won by 13 points, 83-70. The second game.
Of course, at one point we'll see Hunt come onto the floor once again. Manawi surely back-to-back threes. Oh wow, Manawi time.
Highest number of steals in a single game at 14, so he knows a thing or two about that.
He loves it. Well, he doesn't. He manages to flat the ball away, and it's been snatched and stolen. Manawi Crawford at the other end. That is is a brilliant piece of play. Look at that, the maestro. And the final shot goes over the top, and it doesn't fall. And it's victory for US Modesty, their first here in the Sahara Conference for the 2022 champions.
The second game was tight, with Senegal's Asdouanes defeating Nigeria's Rivers Hoopers 56-54.
This is good for me, Asdouanes locking them down. Almayo gets it in to the hands of Olasameka. Oh, that's a lovely little touch. Wonderfully done. And finally, Eke gets some important points. Well, it's just not the right pass, is it? Oh, he's just lost possession, but the door picks it up. Surely not. A 3 points there for Toma. Doesn't get it. The tip. Right place, right time.
Shoot that ball.
Here we go then. This is the last play. Mike Fofana tries to go around Ike. Goes high. Can he get it?
To the question, do we have another buzzer beater in the conference? We sure do.
That is just
And as we head into the weekend, Nigeria remains on top of the Sahara Conference. We'll have a recap on Monday and a look ahead to the playoffs, so stay with us for more from Season 4 of the Basketball Africa League. It's time for our entertainment report, and joining us now is Heather Maxwell, host of VOA's Music Time in Africa radio program, with some special guests. Hello, Heather.
Hello, Esther. Hello, everyone. The Madaraka Festival is about to hit the stage in 14 U.S. cities, and its producer, Javan Okelo, and acclaimed singer Naomi Achu are here to tell us about it. Hey, guys, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So, Simon, first with you, tell us about this festival. What is it all about?
Madaraka Festival celebrates East African music and culture. It's the fastest growing East African music festival in the world. Last year, we were in 6 cities across the U.S. This year, we're in 13 cities across the U.S. And we have artists like Nyashinsky headlining, Eddie Kenzo from Uganda, Savara, who is part of Sauti Sol, Naomi Achu, and many other surprise guests. Here in DC, we'll be here on June 3rd, and we'll start in Dallas on May 25th, and we are really, really excited to really bring the East African music and culture that is, for the most part, overlooked in the global stage.
I see what you mean. It's mostly West African at this stage, isn't it? Afro beats, Amapiano, but you want to bring East African music to the center stage.
Exactly. You know, when you look at the global music scene, a lot of the time people don't even speak about Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, where we also have immense talent. So even though this is the 10-year anniversary of Madaraka Festival, we've always been dedicated to bringing East African artists to America, but also we have the biggest music development program in East Africa. So our work is really to build East African music from the ground up.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. Naomi, is this your first time going to be performing with Madaraka Festival?
I performed with Madaraka 2 years ago.
Okay.
This was in Seattle before Simon took it off on tour. So that was a great experience, and that's why I'm excited to be back with Madaraka this year.
And this time you're going to be touring all 14.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm excited.
You ready?
Yes.
You're going to be with a bunch of East Africans. You're actually originally from Cameroon.
Yes.
So that'll be fun for you too.
No, for sure, and definitely a time to connect with my East African family. So
Yes.
I'm very excited to share what Cameroon has with East Africa and, of course, the world.
Speaking of what Cameroon has, would you give us a sample of your singing voice?
Let's see, what do I sing? Boy, I'm losing my mind over you. Baby, don't waste my time. I can't get enough of you. Bad girl killer bam bam. Bad girl killer bam bam. Bad girl killer bam bam. Bad girl killer. Baby, I'm on another level. VIP, we only drink Blue Label. See, I'm looking for a bad guy general, cause I got the high profile like a federal. I don't say you be the king, king ting-a-ling, but I'm a bad girl killer. Bad mamacita, you be the king, king ting-a-ling. You have to humble yourself for a queen. So bring your sexy to my VIP. We go be happy, we go be irate. When you whine your body, me I whine my body. We make our body go down.
Wow, that is awesome. You mentioned the word queen, by the way, and Naomi is also known as Queen of Bamenda, Bamenda being from Cameroon.
Yes.
And I can tell by that little improv there that you truly do reign in the realm of music and rap.
I love music.
You do.
I love music. It's part of who I am.
Yeah.
It's not even what I do, it's just who I am.
Yeah.
So.
Well, speaking also of that, you go beyond music to highlight health disparities. Can you tell me what brought you to this cause specifically?
It brought me to this, well, I just realized that living outside of Africa, it was time to really give back because there's so much resources outside of Africa that if we were to come together, we can help Africa be a greater place. So because I was born in Cameroon, it didn't make sense for me to just be living my life and forgetting about the African child. You know, the African child is me. I am that 8-year-old. I am that 9-year-old sitting in a classroom. I am that child that used to kick dust. I am that child, so why not, you know, create opportunities for the African child? So that's why I did
that's
that.
fantastic. Now, you both know it's Mother's Day, right? Coming up.
That's true.
Would you like to give a shout out, a Mother's Day shout out, either of you?
Of course. You want to go first?
My mom, of course. Shout out to my mom. She's in Chicago right now. I love her. And shout out to all the moms.
All right.
Yeah,
How about you, Simon?
Shout out to my mom who is in heaven, and shout out to, you know, my wife and all the mothers out there. You know, Madaraka is actually 68% of attendees of Madaraka Festival are women. So shout out to all the women who have made Madaraka Festival what it is today.
All right, ladies, yes. And we hope they come out in droves. In droves, beginning. When does the Madaraka Festival begin here in the U.S.?
May 25th, we are in Dallas.
Okay.
May 26th in Houston, and we are on the road until June 18th in Seattle, Washington. Tickets are available on Ticketmaster or www.madarakafestival.com.
Okay. Well, we look forward to that. I also know that there is a lot more we can talk about, and we will do that on my Music Time in Africa radio show. You do a lot of work back and forth between the diaspora and East Africa, so we're going to learn a lot more about that and look forward to more great work in that realm.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
so Simon, Naomi, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
That's it for entertainment this week. See you back next Friday. Esther, back to you.
Thank you so much, Heather. Be sure to join Heather Maxwell Entertainment Reports every Friday right here on Africa 54. And that's our show for today. Be sure to watch Africa 54 on our website at voaafrica.com. From all of us here in Washington, have a great weekend.